We're here with head coach Terry Horan as he prepares for the MIAC opener. You're going to jump right into the deep end with St. John's. But
who puts these schedules together anyway?
Let's go back and talk about the home opener last week.
Yeah.
Another great home opener for the Cobbers, and you seem to own the home openers in your career. Beat Buena Vista. It looked like it was going to be a struggle early on. Did you make any adjustments? You went down and scored right away. Then they came down and scored right away. Did you guys make any adjustments into that period to shut them down? Because after that, they really didn't get much on the board.
Yeah, you know what? Well, first of all, they're a well-coached football team. I mean, in the 4 years that we've played Buena Vista, this is the best team that they had. And I told you last week, their 63-3 loss to Platteville was no indication of how good they were. So we made sure our kids were focused on it, and our kids were focused. You were right. We moved the ball down the field. I thought they defended us probably better than they have, and they've got some pretty good players. They were making plays, and they were putting pressure on Griffin within our passing game. Our running game was working well. They were taking away some of our option threats, but we were able to get our power threat into there. And I mean, if you take something away, you're going to give up something too. And we were able to find it. And Dominic Ferboni and Alex McLean had really good days, and Dominic ended up being our offensive player of the game. But it was good to see some of our young freshmen get in there and get some great playing time. And so the first half was just kind of back and forth, and one thing we mentioned at halftime was the week before what we really wanted to work on, and was against Jamestown. We lost our focus. We weren't mentally very sharp. We didn't have a very, it wasn't a complete game for us. So we wanted to get into that mode of let's finish this thing off, and we did that. I mean, we get into our pride quarter. It's still 17-9, and our defense has 3 3-and-outs, and their fourth series was a one play to end the game, and we found a way to get 14 points on the board and put it out of reach. So I was proud of the way our kids finished that football game in a tight game, and made plays when we needed to make plays. So we really did improve from week 1 to week 2.
This question might go against about you as a former player being a wide receiver, but this year it seems that your running game has really stepped up. Last year maybe it was an even kind of mix, but this year 2 big games to start the year with rushing as far as total yardage. Last week over 300 yards. Is that something you've been concentrating on with Griffin calling the plays as you go forward?
Well, it certainly helps to have a kid like Griffin Neal, 3-year quarterback, but it helps to have a pretty experienced offensive line. A lot of those guys played a lot for us. We had a really good spring. We had the 17 practices in spring to prep our guys even more. But the running game is important. We feel we've got to get the running game established to open up everything else. And we are a 2-dimensional team, and so we have threats really everywhere. But yeah, you take away something, and you're going to get hit by something, and we were able to just find what we needed to do, and it ended up being a lot of Ferboni and some big heavy yards there. But then once we established the fullback inside, we were able to get to the perimeter with our scat backs, and that was a lot of fun. It was really working well for us.
And just quickly, one of the scat backs you talked about is Rick Hutchinson. Great. He's come on the last, especially last game where he bounced off 2 great touchdown runs.
Very much so.
How has he stepped into his role?
He's stepped in really big time. I mean, he's had a great year. He's been a steady Eddie, and he just goes to work every day. He reminds me a lot of Travis Christensen, a young man we had several years ago, just a blue-collar hard worker, not flashy, but will get the job done and hurt a lot of teams. He was a kid that would have been one of our top recruits the year that he came in as a freshman. He decided he didn't want to play football, but he was at Concordia. Every day I saw him at dining service, I said, "It's never too late, Rick. It's never too late." We're happy that Rick decided to play football.
That's a good segue kind of into this upcoming game at St. John's, where their running game has been spectacular in the first couple of games, which leads me to defensively, you guys have stopped the run real well traditionally, and also this year, especially maybe a lot of people don't know about the linebacking core, which plays a huge role in stopping the run. They know the front 3, of Kyle Nelson, Nate Adams, Nick Lean. Talk a little bit about your four linebackers and what
Right.
they do very well for you guys.
Well, it is the Sam Sura moving company, and it has been. I mean, for a kid to go 281 yards in a game and break the rushing record at St. John's, I mean, that's incredible. I still remember him playing in high school in St. Paul, and he's a great back, and he's got a nice fullback that really gets to the perimeter for him, and they do a really nice job. Well, our outside linebackers, will certainly have to step up. Our two inside backers, and Hintermeister and Bai, and then even a Hank Van Loo comes in, and a Colin Denny. We got four pretty solid inside linebackers there. Austin Raftvold is one of our outside backers who's very athletic. That's the thing with our 3-4 too. Our 3-4 is an athletic style defense. We want to get to you before you get to us, and a lot of different looks. Come with a lot of different stunts, little different blitzes here and there, but still be sound in what we want to do to defend and stop a team. Danny Pike, another kid who hasn't played a whole lot for us over the years. He's just hung around and he's finding his way into things. And we just Deion Basara, a kid who came in. We got him out of Illinois. Coach Willits coached him in high school, and he blew out his ACL 2 years in a row. So it's his first opportunity, to get on the field and help us out too. So you have to have depth at that position, and we feel we do. And it's just getting those guys some experience. But they're going to have their hands full on Saturday. We've got to read our keys, and then we've got to trust that read, and we've got to go attack and hopefully slow those guys down. We're not going to stop them. We hope to slow them down, and that's a big chore.
You've had success at St. John's, and this is the first. In the 2014 season, you'll play at St. John's, at St. Thomas, and at Bethel. But St. John's, it's like you guys have had success there, and so that kind of feeds off each other. What do you guys do, better at St. John's sometimes as opposed to at home against St. John's where you've struggled?
Yeah, who knows? Every year it's different, and it is a fun place to play, and I think our kids really enjoy the atmosphere, and you're always going to have great crowds, and they're just, I don't know, we've had great games with them at home, and we've lost a couple just nail biters, but I don't know. It's just I know our kids always have a great practice week against these guys as we're prepping them, and most of the time our games have been pretty solid. So it's hit or miss, Jim. Who knows how it goes, but why we have success down there, and we certainly hope that success stays because we're going to need it on Saturday.
Good luck.
Hey, thank you.